Hey guys, how's it going? Fluffy Man with the pizza department here. Today we are going to talk about how to help get ready for the next patch and to get to where you can clear tier 100 dungeons. So when doing Nightmare Dungeons 100 or kind of in that realm, first thing you always want to do, just to kind of make sure you're ready for that, is to check your resistances. You want to have those at the 70% mark, and just kind of showing you something here. As you can see, mine doesn't meet that threshold, but I've got a elixir of magic resistance, which will move those to 70%, so you can always use that to help substitute. You can find these through doing hell tides off of chest or just sometimes monsters. They're really good to have. So another thing before like starting it, so being able to do Nightmare 100s, you need to be able to do a lot of high damage, but also being able to take a hit. So I'd recommend looking at getting some legendary aspects to give you some defensives, maybe even Vampiric Glyph or two. Like it might take you down from hitting your super high numbers, but you need to be able to survive and push through the dungeon as well. The next part with doing your high tier Nightmare dungeons, like your hundreds, your 99s, like your general 90 to 100 area, you always want to make sure you're paying extra close attention to your affixes. If you get the wrong combo, there's just gonna be absolutely no way you're gonna make it unless you're just incredibly good at this game. So watch them, find things that you can work around, what things you can take for damage, what you can give up, and what you can take. I'll give you guys a good example. So I'm playing a Twisted Blades build. I'm not playing the absolute meta one. I've got it set up for shadow poison damage and then just bouncing around the map as quick as I can. So for me, like having Lightning Storm would be like the absolute worst one I can, since I'm just going to be consistently moving and that's going to be a lot of my survivability. That one would take me out. So once you've selected your tier 100 dungeon, so as you can see, I've chosen the Carrion Fields. It's a pretty open area, and you got to collect two pillars, and you got to kill a boss. So making sure to like choose that dungeon that best suits your class, your play style, will make it a lot easier. This is one of my favorites for my build. So when it comes to doing tier 100s, make sure you're pacing yourself. That's a pretty big one. You don't have to absolutely kill everything as fast as you can. Go for the highest time you can. There's no reason for that right now. So just learn your pacing, what you can get away with doing, what you can't get away with doing. So for me to be able to do tier 100s, I had to give up a bit of my damage to be able to survive a bit more. So like keeping my auto attacks up will take less damage, making sure I'm attacking so I'm getting my armor up. So like here for my class, I need to be mobile, stay moving quite a bit, and because I didn't do that, I pretty much failed to die. There's going to be some builds where it's a lot more forgiving without being mobile. I'm not running that one of those builds, so as you can see, this build requires me to move. I made two dumb mistakes and pretty well just got one shot. So right here is a pretty good example on why you do want to make sure you have your poison resist up and all your resistances at the 70% mark. As you can see, everything here pretty much hits like a Mack truck with poison, so having it up there is preventing me from dying along with the few pots and then just having my defensive passives going. Also take note that I'm making sure to stay very mobile with my build. Again, that's a very big part of being able to do the tier 100, just understanding what your build is capable of doing and how its mechanics are set to be played. Like if I was playing a Hammer the Ancients bard, this would fight would definitely look a lot different. They would be hitting a lot more harder, and they probably wouldn't be jumping around as much as I am. Something else that'll help quite a bit whenever you're doing your Nightmare Dungeons is using your shrines. So here I found an artillery shrine. My class is very mobile. I kind of know where I'm going, so I'm just gonna utilize that. I'm not gonna stick around. I'm gonna push towards my objective so I can get it quickly, clear the mobs out next to it. So really use these to push the objectives. It'll help you clear these dungeons quicker. And if you're doing up to tier 100, I'm assuming you're not really here for the experience. You're more or less here to get through the dungeon, get your glyphs up. So those are just a few of my tips on how to prepare and do level 100 dungeons. I don't really want to go into any guide specific stuff per class. I kind of just want like a general overview on like kind of the mindset to get you ready for these. I can do guides in the future for that. Other things you can do, I've always found it easier to do these if you've got another buddy to do level 100s. It's a little more forgiving because you can die a few times, you both can cover each other, kill mobs a little bit quicker. You have to be careful though, because mobs do get increased health whenever you are playing with a group. So just a quick recap. Whenever setting up for tier 100s, make sure you're getting your resistances up, you're looking at the affixes, making sure you understand like your class's playstyle, you've set up your build and understand how to do it comfortably. Another thing you want to make sure you're doing is making sure you still do enough damage to clear tier 100. Also, watching out for special mobs that can one shot you, in my case, ballistas. So, as to clarify, this isn't really a specific build guide, it's more or less a mindset guide on how you need to think about you going about clearing, what you need to be looking for. There are some really good builds on the internet for you to use. However, I try not to use them more than just like a reference to kind of see how my build compares to theirs and if I'm on the right track. I don't want to copy 100%. I kind of like try and make things my own and work with it. It's worked so far. But anyways, thank you guys for watching. I hope to see you in the next one.